So I've already taken some information that might be useful for this question. So I'll put down the velocities of P and Q because this is important to solve the rest of these problems. And according to the statement, well, let's have a read of this. So according to this one, when the time is 0, the position vector of P is given to be 9O plus 10J. So this is the initial position vector, right? Because we're at time 0. And as for Q, is I plus 4J. Now, at time t hours, the position vectors of P and Q are P and Q respectively. So let's find expressions for both. So one thing to know, this statement here at time t hours, this is basically telling us that the general position vector at time t, like in this format, so RT equals the initial position vector at time 0 plus the velocity times time. This will give you whatever point you're starting at plus that direction. This will give you the movement it will be at. That will be its exact position from the initial and the direction you're going at some time t. Okay, so all we have here, so basically to make sense of this one, to find P, we just plug in 9I plus 10J into R0 and the velocity in its respective velocity vector 9I minus 2J, and we just tidy up, and then we do the same thing for Q. So let's do this. So replacing RT with the letter P to make sense of it, R0 is going to be 9I plus 10J. So this is just basically if you know the formula or not. Plus, and then we're going to have the velocity vector of P is 9I minus 2J times T. And as for Q, same thing applies. Position vector, the initial position is I plus 4J plus, and its velocity is 4I plus 8J times T. There we go, straightforward. Now, part C, hence show that at time t hours, what do we have here? The going from Q to P is given by the following. Now, when it says going from Q to P, we literally just have to find the direction from these two vectors. Just think of it like this. You got position vector of, say, Q there and position vector of P. And that's where we're going. We're basically going to that direction. So to find this entire expression, this is simply the difference from P to Q. You just do P take away Q to get this. Now let's try that actually. Let's find the difference. So subtracting these vectors across, what do we get? So let's have a look. So we've got 9I minus I, so this will give us 8I. So let's write here. So let's call this, let's do this down here actually. So we have QP. So we're going to have 8I, good. 10 take away 4 is 6, so plus 6J. Now 9I, now in terms of T, 9IT take away 4IT will give us 5IT. So plus 5IT. Actually, I should write 5TI. Makes more sense. And then minus 2 take away 8 will give us minus 10 TJ. Now, to make it in this format, well, you can see that they just factorize in terms of I's and J's. So in terms of I's, you've got 8I and 5TI. So this combine these two, you get 8 plus 5TI. So yeah, I guess we've already shown this. I don't necessarily need to represent it here, but just for clarity. And then to make this expression, it's just 6J take away 10TJ. And that factorizes out to me 6 minus 10TJ. So in a way, when you can prove this one, then you can feel confident that you got B and C both right. So that's easy, 5 marks in the bag. Now the final part, D. This is the main bulk of the question. So find the values of T when the ships are 10 kilometers apart. Okay, now this is talking about the distance, right? So right now, you can think of this one as a displacement. So this is a vector. But this is also the distance if you took the magnitude of this value of this vector. So what I mean by that, we need to use Pythagoras now. Okay, this is actually quite a standard one. So we can say first things first. To find the magnitude of QP, this is the distance. We just have to take the square of each of these values and square root the whole thing. So it's basically going to be 8 plus 5t squared plus 6 minus 10t squared. And then square rooting it. And that's it. And the distance will basically be everything equal to 10. So this is now a distance value, so this equals 10. So you just go ahead and solve. So I'm going to go ahead and do it now, yeah? So just to get rid of the square root, I'm going to square both sides, so that disappears and this becomes 10 squared, so that becomes now 100 equals. So just need a little breather. So now we just have to expand these double brackets. So this is more or less a quadratic expression. So be careful. Remember, 8 plus 5t is just 8 plus 5t times 8 plus 5t. So we need 4 terms. And you can reduce it to make 3. So let's go ahead and expand in our own time. So we've got 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 5 is 40t. Plus another 40t, you get 80t there. And then we get 5t times 5t is 25t squared. And then repeat the same here. You should get 36. 6 times minus 10 is minus 60. And another minus 60 is minus 120t. And then minus 10 squared is plus 100t squared. Alright, not bad so far. So now we just collect like terms. So let's just do it on this right side, yeah, just to make more space. So we can say therefore, just to make 100, let's make in terms of t squares, yeah. So combine the like terms, so you got 25t squared and 100t squared. That becomes 125t squared. In terms of t, we got 80 and minus 120. That becomes minus 40t. Oh, now here comes the numbers. 64 plus 36 is 100. Take away 100. Oh, that's beautiful. Now equals 0. So that's plus 0. So that all of this would be set to 0. And now we just find the values of t. So just factorize t out. So that's good. So I thought we were going to do quadratics, and I'm kind of glad we're not doing that. So it'll be 125t minus 40. So I hope you guys are following so far. So this means t could be 0. So basically when t is 0, the ship's at 10 kilometers apart, or this solution, so 125t minus 40 equals 0. So 125t equals 40, and t equals 40 over 125. And that is equivalent to, probably one is a decimal, 0.32. So t is 0.32. And to convert that to hours, just times it by 60. No. So this is to convert to minutes to make sense of it. So this is basically 19.2 minutes. So basically when the ships are 10 kilometers apart, this happens at time 0 and time 0.32 hours. And that's it, guys. Hope this helps, and let me know what you guys get, and we can compare solutions. Otherwise, I shall see you all soon. Ciao.